Good afternoon, students. As promised, I told you that I would upload a video regarding coins and counting coins and using money or currency and coins within word problems. This would be a concept in second grade that we felt like you might could use a little bit of review before moving on to third grade content. So today we're going to talk about money and money within word problems. So to start off with, I'm going to share my screen and I wanted to show you all a great website that I talked about this morning in Zoom. I had listed that website on Google Classroom under the math section of Google Classroom. So if you needed to access that, you will just click on the link. It is a glencoe.com virtual math manipulatives website. And this is what it looks like. You may have to allow Flash to get it to open. You can select the grade level. It kind of narrows down your backgrounds and your manipulatives for grade 2. Grade 2 and grade 3 share a lot of the same manipulatives, but what I'm looking for is just a basic blank word mat. It's not going to look any different or blank background. It's not going to look any different than your white screen. And then under manipulatives, you may be thinking money, but you're looking for currency. And currency is another word for dollars and coins or money. I do want to go over the basic coins. You have a copper penny that is worth 1 cent. If I were to type that out, it would be 1 cent. If I were to write that in the form of money using a decimal, that would be 0.01. And it looks like I'm having a hard time with this, so I'm going to just shift over here and move my toolbar around. Let me see if I can try that again. It's going to be 0.01. Maybe it didn't want me to get that close, so I'm going to move that there. If I were to do 0.1, this would actually be considered 10 cents. So we want to make sure that we would represent the place value correctly, which is the actual hundredths place. And that's a little bit more advanced than you need for second grade, but I did want to go over that with you. The next coin is the nickel. And this nickel is worth 5 cents. It would be equivalent to 5 of these 1 cent pieces or these pennies. We know that we call, let's see, we have 0.05 as your amount that your nickel is worth. Now, if I were, sorry, had a moment. All right, if I were to move on to the next one, I would have a dime, and that dime is worth 10 cents. And it is a dime. And then not the largest coin that you might see floating around in the world of money, but the second to the largest and the most common of the two is your quarter. I could teach a whole lesson on the value of a quarter as it relates to fractions. I could say that it's called a quarter because it is a quarter or a fourth of a dollar. That's another lesson. I'll save that. This is worth 25 cents and it is a quarter. Okay, I want to take just a moment to write down its value, and that would be 0.25. Now, thinking about the connections between the penny, the nickel, the dime, and the quarter, it takes 5 of these to make one, it takes 10 of these to make one, and it takes 25 of these to make one. And of course, you could exchange equally a dime and a nickel, or sorry, 2 dimes and a nickel to equal the value of a quarter. So you can exchange amounts and add these up to equal higher coin amounts. There is a 50-cent piece. You don't see it very often, but this is worth 50 cents. And in like 2 quarters would be the amount of a 50-cent piece, or sometimes what people would call it a half dollar. It would take 10 of these to equal 1. So you've got this exchange of money that could happen to give you total amounts. I want to take you now to the dollars. And when I think about money in dollars, I've got the bills, paper money. There's the $1 bill, there's the 5, here's the 10, here's the 20, and I'm running out of room here. There is also a 50 and also a 100. And again, these exchanges, or could I take 5 ones to make 5? Hey, you could do 2 5s to make a 10. So you could, I don't want to say decompose, but you could make different money amounts equal higher dollars, or higher bills. When I think about money and I think about why this math lesson is valuable, money makes the world go around, and it really takes money to do anything, to go out and watch a movie, if the theaters were open, to visit an amusement park, to go to the grocery store to get groceries. So this is what we were talking about earlier with addition and subtraction and money, or multiplication and division. There are math concepts that are so important in elementary school because as adults, you will use them daily. This isn't something that you could say, well, this is not important, I don't need to understand this. You will need to know money amounts and counting money and doing more problems with money as an adult forever. So I am going to now share just a couple examples of counting money. When I look at these values, I see, first of all, I have to recognize the amount of money. I see a nickel, a penny, a quarter, a nickel, and a dime. This is probably, it says grade 2, but this is probably also a grade 1 standard where you just have to recognize the money. As you get older, you want to be able to take those amounts and add them together. I am going to open this in Kami. I've had several people say that they're enjoying Kami. I just want to run through Kami real quick while this is opening. Kami gives you the capability of turning any PDF or any document into a document that you can manipulate or annotate, meaning that I can write on it, I can mark it up with a highlighter, I can circle it, I can draw shapes on it, I could sign my name to it if I needed to. And then I'll show you how to share it when we're done, just so that you understand that we don't pay for this Kami version. It is free, but it doesn't have a turn-in button. You just have to click save, and it will come to me with the students' annotations and their work on it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get my drawing tool here, and I'm going to access my drawing tool in a different color. I think I'm going to choose, let's choose this purple color here. So I have 5 cents. Oh, that's a big pen. All right, so I have 5 cents. That's 5. That's worth a nickel, worth 5 cents. That is a nickel. This is a penny. This is worth 1 penny, 1 cent. And so together, as we're doing this, and I'll probably want to change the size of my pen here. Let me take my stroke size down to 1. You can adjust that, the thickness down. Maybe 2 would be better. Okay, and then the quarter is worth 25 cents. Now, I'm writing this out, but it makes more sense because as the students, as you get older and you are adding money amounts that are much larger than just coin amounts, I know that you would want this lined up by place value, and all your decimal points would need to be in the same place. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 coin amounts. I like starting with my largest coin. I write it down, I can mark it out. Now I said the largest in amount, not size. Yeah, because that always throws people off. The next largest is the nickel, but it's actually worth less than the dime. Interesting, huh? But yes, the next largest in value is 10 cents. And then the next largest in value are your nickels. Now, I could write 0.05 3 times, but if I can skip count by fives, which you've been doing for a while, you could do 5, 10, and 15. That will help kind of condense some of your steps down. So I know I got the dime here, and then I just condensed 3 steps into one by adding my nickels together, 5, 10, 15. And then last and least is my penny. So I'm able to eliminate these 2 coins by putting those together. So like coins, you can skip count to add. So 5 and 5 is 10. So that's 10 cents plus 1 more is 11. So I am going to have to regroup because anything beyond 9 makes me have to regroup when adding. All right, in my tenths place, I have 2, 3, 4, plus 1 more that I carried. So 1, 2, 3, 4, none here, plus 1 more that I carried. So 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the total value of this is 51 cents. Now, I think it's important that you put your cent sign. I also feel like it's important to add your decimal point in because anything beyond the decimal point on this side is where your whole dollars go. It might be $1.51 if I had a dollar bill over here to add to my money amount. So I hope that kind of shows you an example of adding money. The next thing I want to do is I want to take you over to some counting money within word problems. And I have pulled up, and this is not the exact assignment from Google Classroom, but it is something similar, and these take a step up from what I just did to show you the increase in difficulty with money counting. But the same process still in place. So Lucas has 2 $1 bills, 3 dimes, and 3 nickels. How much money does Lucas have? So I've read the question once, but with word problems, when I'm not just doing basic coin counting or basic money counting, with word problems, I like to use a strategy called cubes, and I've added that also to Google Classroom. I can show you where that's located. So under your math, this is your virtual manipulatives website that I showed you with the coin counting. And then this is your cube strategy. Cubes is a way to remember to pay attention in word problems. You can circle the key numbers. That shows you what you know. You can underline the question, what you're being asked to do. You can box out the keywords. Think about, does this mean I'm adding or does this mean if I'm subtracting? You can evaluate and eliminate. Evaluate, look at your steps. Think about how you're going to actually solve. Look for things that aren't necessary in your problem. Take that out. And then finally, show and solve. Solve your problem and find the correct answer. So taking that into consideration, I'm going to go back here to my Kami, and I'm going to use my markup tool, and I'm going to grab my highlighter. Lucas has 2 $1 bills. Okay, that's dollars, then 3 dimes, and then I could even use another one with 3 nickels. How much does Lucas have? So what I know there is that, I'm sorry, hold on a second. What I know now is how much does Lucas have means that they want us to, and you can box this out. Let me see if I can do this again. How much does Lucas have? They didn't say in all, but essentially they're wanting us to add. So we know that we need to add 2 $1 plus, let's change my color here to a blue. Okay, so I have $2 bills. So that's $2 3 dimes. Okay, if I skip count by dime or by tens, I've got 10, 20, 30. So 3 dimes is 10 cent plus 10 cent plus 10 cent, which is 30. And remember, if I needed to look at my virtual manipulatives, 2 $1 bills and 3 dimes looks like this. I can go and I can clear my objects. Okay, so 2 $1 bills and 3 dimes allows me to have the manipulatives at my fingertips, just not at my desk at school. So it gives you the ability to work with money just virtually. So I know I've got $1 plus $1, that's 2. And sorry, I keep going back and forth between the two screens, but I kind of wanted you to show how you can use them simultaneously. And then 10 cent plus 10 cents plus 10 cents. So I'm really counting by tens, skip counting by 10 cents. So I got 10, 20, and 30. Now, when I put those together, be careful that when you are lining these up, let me see if I can use my mouse. When you're lining these up, you have your decimals lined up as well. And that's not a very good alignment there, but you guys get the picture. Okay, when I go back to my word problem, I want to look at the last one, the one that I highlighted here, 3 nickels. Now, looking at my virtual manipulatives, 3 nickels, I'm going to drag those out, would be 5, 10, 15 cent. And that's skip counting by fives. So 0, 5 plus 0, 5, the value of the nickel, 5 cents, and plus 0, 5. While I'm doing this, guys, understand too that I'm going to make mistakes, like questioning my spelling of nickel earlier. When you get online and you're recording videos for students and parents, it does kind of make you second guess everything you do. It's a little nerve-wracking, but I will do whatever I can to support you guys at home, and especially for learners who are doing their work at night because parents are working during the day. So bear with me, and I so appreciate you guys logging on to watch my videos, and I hope they are of some help. I don't want you to ever feel overwhelmed, and I always want you to know I'm here to support you. Okay, so going back, that's 5, 10, 15. So I've got 15 cents that I'm going to line up. Now, what I have when I say, how much does Lucas have? Was that his name? I always like to go back and be sure. Yep, how much does Lucas have? So I have used cubes, my strategies to reread my word problem. And I always want to do that to make sure I didn't miss anything. I can account for the 2 ones, the 3 dimes, and 3 nickels. And when I add those up, I have 5 plus 0 plus 0 is 5. I have 0 plus 3 plus 1. None plus 3 plus 1, so 3 and 1 is 4. I like to use something called PUP, point under point. I just keep my decimal point lined up. And again, bad alignment, but still learning to work with this mouse and this drawing tool. And then my 2 whole dollars, I don't add any dollars, any whole bills here. These $2 represent that. So I have $2.45. What makes this money is actually putting a currency sign or a dollar sign out in front of it. So always add that with money problems. Then I can go back to my Kami document, and I could actually type this. I can write it, whatever makes you more comfortable. 2 plus 30 cents plus 15 cents equals $2. $2.45. Now, in any situation, I would prefer that you show your work. I do understand that given our circumstances and using these writing tools within Kami, it might be a little difficult, but I am going to want you to show your work. So I'm going to come back down here, and you might need to maybe use all of your white space here. But when I show my work, it allows Ms. Pressler, myself, to be able to see if you did miss it, where your mistake was made. So if I don't see your work, I could make an assumption like, oh, they used a calculator, or maybe they did it in their head. And even though mental math is not a terrible thing, at this point, I would like to get to know you and see your mathematical thinking. And when you show me your work, that shows me your mathematical thinking. So with that being said, I'm going to cut off this lesson, and I'm going to say that this is very similar to what you have to do on Google Classroom. This is a review. I hope that it made sense. Counting money is a lifelong math concept that you will use every day, even when you're old like me. So I thank you for watching, and I will see you again soon.